Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. So guys, what I wanted to talk about today is just the fact that, and this is a good thing, all of these systems are crumbling right now. All of these fraudulent, criminal systems are collapsing. We are truly watching the turn of an age, of an era, of a cycle. If you look at all of our systems that we've relied upon, like the banking systems, right? I mean, obviously, any of us that have done research in their life, maybe read a book, called the Creature from Jekyll Island, maybe just did a little research on income tax, a little bit of reading of the Constitution. For one, you'd realize that our monetary system is fraudulent. It always has been fraudulent, folks. Ever since we went off the gold standard and ever since they implemented income tax. Income tax was meant to be a temporary thing to fund the world wars. And typical fashion of government, once you give them a little money, they just will keep taking it. Not only taking it, they start demanding more and more and more, right? Well, we're realizing now why that is so. That's because the politicians have been laundering our taxes for a long time. The world has been laundering America's tax money. You have a criminal organization that's been ruling the world, and they've been poisoning us, dumbing us down, and robbing us blind. Stealing not just our wealth, which can mean many things. That can be, land, health, time, energy, money, and intellect and imagination, because all of those things are something that humanity produces, and they've been undermining that and robbing us of that and handing us fake money in the process. I was just watching a report where they're talking about the city of London right now. And there's a big issue going on because a lot of people are calling in their gold. They're turning in their gold certificates and wanting the physical gold, and they're demanding it. And I guess there's tons of it coming back to New York from the city of London right now. And the city of London's struggling because they don't have an actual enough gold reserves to cover these paper contracts being turned in, and the physical being demanded. Because, folks, it's all been an illusion. They've lied about everything. The silver and gold markets have been manipulated for a long time. Like, look, if gold and silver was actually based on actual inflation of these central banking schemes, as it should truly be valued, I mean, gold would be probably 20 to 30 times higher than what it is. Silver is even more manipulated than gold. I mean, they still got silver at like $30 an ounce. I mean, silver and gold, two of the oldest forms of currency since the time of Sumer, Mesopotamia. And silver is probably under by 50 times. Some people have said, economists. They're saying silver should be up around $700 to $900 an ounce. Gold like $40,000 an ounce or more. But see, folks, this is what they've been doing to control the markets. They've been issuing these certificates, gold and silver certificates. They're IOUs essentially. The paper stocks. And they do the same thing that they do with our banking. Fractional reserve banking. Well, they're doing fractional reserve selling of these commodities. What they do is they can hold 10% of the gold or silver, and then they can sell certificates for that, or contracts that are essentially just based on that 10% of holding. So they don't actually have that much real gold or silver in their inventories. It's all an illusion, folks. It's a Ponzi scheme. See, as long as you get people continuing to invest in paper, gold and silver, they keep this market flowing. And as long as not too many people demand physical trade-in for their certificates or for these, these paper forms of gold and silver, then they can keep the illusion alive. They can keep the balls juggling in the air. But right now, a lot of institutions that have a lot of these certificates are demanding physical payout now, and they can't keep up. They're weeks behind supplies right now, and this is just barely starting to make its way into the mainstream. So folks, if you've been hoarding away that silver or gold for a long time and you're frustrated because your silver is still less than it was, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and gold's gone up quite a bit, but it's still, nowhere near where it should be. But yet you're watching all your buddies make, money hand over fist on Bitcoin and all that. Well, folks, when the tire actually meets the road, Bitcoin and all that stuff's an illusion in itself. More than likely was created by these same intelligence agencies. But physical gold and silver is something tangible. It has real value. You can make jewelry out of it, sell it for more. You can use it in many technological, devices. I mean, a lot of our phones and all that have gold and silver in them. A lot of our systems, computer systems and all that. So you actually need it in industrial commercial uses also. Bitcoin and all that, yes, the blockchain technology has its uses, but if something was to happen, folks, like a massive EMP, and I'm not talking about caused by humanity, but like perhaps caused by a solar flare, a massive solar flare event by the sun, if it wiped out our electronics, you could have billions of Bitcoin in your wallet, and it ain't going to be worth nothing at that point. But you can still barter with gold or silver, because once systems are brought back online, once society rebuilds from that gold and silver can act as real currency. But see, everything's always been a fraud, folks. See, your debt, that how we're born into debt slavery. And this is, look, folks, I'm talking about the United States because that's where I live, so I'm referencing that. However, it's the same. If you have a Rothschild central bank in your country, it's the same for everybody. The day you're born, you're issued a social security number here in the United States. Now in another country, it might be some other kind of ID or whatever. Look, folks, that is your that is your stock certificate as a human resource. You are a collateral on your nation's debt. And folks, what is this debt? What is it based on? Folks, it's based on nothing. Nothing. These central banks have enslaved the world through illusion, through a Babylonian banking system. Even your banks don't issue real money. If you go get a loan from your bank, they only have to, same thing, fractional reserve, they only have to have a certain amount of holdings, and then they can loan out way more than they actually hold. This is your banks, they're all doing it, folks. So, what they're doing with the gold and silver is no different than what they've been doing with your with your nation's currencies. Same thing. It's all an illusion, folks. It's all fake. So now I question, okay, if we're in debt, what about our credit card debt, our mortgage debt, like all these debts that we all have, because everything is so expensive and inflated. I mean, you got to take out a loan just to take your pet to the vet nowadays. I mean, you take your pet in for some, it's like $1,500, and who the hell can just left and right pull that money out of their pockets? I mean, a set of tires on your car is like 1,000 tires if it's a SUV or a truck. I mean, a transmission goes out in your car now, it's $8,000 freaking dollars. Who the hell? Everything has to be financed. And folks, you're taking out these loans, and then, like, say that $8,000 transmission, then you tack on $2,000 on top of that for finance charges. Now it's $10,000 for that transmission just to keep your car running. And guess what, folks? That loan you got to do that transmission, that bank doesn't even have, they're basically issuing out your this debt to you, this loan you took out based on fractional reserve banking. They're not even holding the complete amount of that money. It's just illusion after illusion. We're just trading numbers, playing with numbers. And there's it's not real tangible currency. We've all been swindled, folks. Same with your taxes, income tax. None of that I mean, a lot of people on the left are really ignorant, man. I mean, I can't believe these people on the left. They're like, oh my God, if they do away with income tax and with the IRS and all that, how's our country going to survive? It's not going to the government won't be able to operate. Folks, how ignorant and dumb are you? I mean, come on, man. You actually thought your income tax was paying for the operations of your nation? No, folks. It's going to these central banks. Because guess what? Every dollar that they print, those Federal Reserve notes issued by a foreign banking cartel based out of the city of London. Yeah, those federal foreign notes, they're illusory. They're an illusion. It's all just a shell game. See, every dollar that they print, they charge interest. They charge a fee. So if every dollar printed puts the United States more in debt. You can never get out of debt when a central bank runs your currency, and it will always inflate. Always. It's all a scam, folks. Your mortgage, all that money you owe that takes you 30 years or more, longer if you take out second mortgages and refinance and all that. Most people 30 to 50 years to pay off their freaking house if you stay in the same house. Why is that? Well, folks, by the time you get done paying for that house, you paid over $1 million for a house that was originally like $200,000. It's all a scam, folks. And that's all based on money lended. That's not even real money. It's just, they can only cover 10% of that. They only have to show 10% holdings or something. And look, folks, I'm not giving you exact numbers. I'm just giving you ideas here. Look, if you want to learn the ins and outs of all this, go read, go study like Ron Paul's work and stuff. I'm just trying to give you like a layman's, like an easy understanding of what's going on here. The point is that it's all fake. Okay? You're being issued debt that you have to pay back, that you slave your whole life away for. That's not even based on an actual money that the bank has. It's all fake. Your credit card debt, all fake. It's all fake, folks. This whole system was designed to enslave humanity. And this was brought on at the beginning, at least as far back as we can record, to Sumer 6,000 years ago. When the Anunnaki, the Council of the Anuna, the Council of the Elohim, the Council of the Gods, right? The powerful ones, the shining ones. When they were trying to figure out how to control humanity. And you know they were trying to figure out how to control humanity because it tells you in the cuneiform, folks. Okay? It's all explained. Humanity, as they hybridized this human race, it was procreating faster than the Anuna could. They needed this, they were using this worker race, but they were also losing control of them. So they had to institute systems to control humanity. Fear matrices, religions, banking. All this stuff was introduced as a way to control humanity. See, if you keep humanity always in survival mode, you can control and manipulate them at will. If you keep them afraid of the wrath of God, you can keep them controlled. See, they came forth with things like Hammurabi's Code, later on known as the Ten Commandments. Oh yes, folks, the Ten Commandments is not a unique set of laws, okay? If you read the Hammurabi's Code, it's all basically there. In fact, the Egyptians had a similar code to the Ten Commandments, okay? So look, folks, oh yes, I know. That wonderful Yahweh character brought the law to man. The Ten Commandments. Well, folks, just like everything in the Bible, too, it was all a scam. It's all just been repurposed. But, see, they introduced banking, this currency system, as a way to control energy. Folks, why do you think it's called currency? It's not really about money, folks. It's about energy. Currency flow, you know, like energy flows like water, you know, in a different, you know, energy does flow similar to water, that's why they called it currency, because they're basically trading your energy and time for something that's supposed to represent that, and that could have been gold and silver, or nowadays in modern times these fake paper notes, right? It's the same system, folks. It keeps everybody in debt. It keeps everybody in a survival mode. And then religion and government keeps everybody in a fear matrix. See, folks, the universe is actually abundance. But their systems were designed to create shortages. To create, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Let's just say this. By them controlling the amounts of commodities and such, they can control humanity. You know, because they can control food that way. And just the way that society works. It's always been a scam, folks. And look, we're finding out now by Doge that probably 90% of the federal government is just a scam. 90% of the federal government does nothing for humanity, or at the very least is just designed to keep us under control. The federal government, 90% of what it does is designed to give the top percentage of people that are the puppets of the ones behind the scenes a way to steal our time and energy and our intellect and our imagination and our creativity. Look, folks, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I'm just trying to give you guys just some simple understandings. So I would say right now, if you're holding gold or silver, you may actually see a point here now where those prices are going to start rising, because once the markets in their totality figure out that there is no actual physical gold or silver, that it's all been swindled and stolen. And we're probably going to find that out from the Fort Knox tour, right? If they do that Fort Knox audit. It's because these people behind the scenes have been robbing us forever. They designed a system to steal all of our gold, silver, money, time, intellect, creativity, and hoard it for themselves, and to give us just a pittance, a percentage of that, to keep us under control. And out of that, what they do give us, it's fake, it's illusionary. They're issuing us their versions of currency to barter with our real currency, and all their stuff's based on illusion. It's not even based on real holdings. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, folks, when you really think about it. So just think about that. When you're paying your taxes, that you're paying it to a criminal organization that uses your taxes against you to enslave you. Think about that when you're paying your mortgage, your credit cards, your car loans, your cat's loan, your credit card payment because you had to take your cat in, your dog in. Just understand that they're not actually issuing you any real money. It's all just illusionary. They're only holding 10% of real cash or assets in their bank vaults, while they're issuing you out 90% more than they hold. And I'm talking about percentage per person or whatever, per customer, whatever they want to call us, right? You ever thought about that? Customs, like you're traded as a commodity, customs, right? Just think about this, folks. See, they see us as property, not as sovereign entities, as individual fractals of God, of spirits having a human experience. They see us as cattle and sheep, as commodities, as customs. See, they operate the world like it's a corporation, folks, except this corporation can operate on falsities. They don't actually have to balance a budget or anything because they just print whatever money they want. And that money is based on nothing. And then on top of that, they charge your nation, the taxpayers, interest on every piece of that currency they print. So you're getting scammed double time, triple time. Well, folks, their systems are all collapsing right now. And usually when massive monetary systems collapse, they push, let's just call it conflicts between powers or nations, right? So then they can bring in a new system after the collapse and after the carnage. Order out of chaos, right? One of the favorite sayings of the secret societies, right? They bring the chaos, they cause the chaos, and then they bring a new order out of that. But they're always the ones controlling the order. And the order is always designed to rob and steal from us and to enrich them and entrench them in power. But folks, there is a silver lining here. People are starting to wake up. See, what Doge is doing is it's just showing us, it's pulling the curtains aside, and we're seeing the man standing behind the curtain right now. We're seeing that most of the government is a scam, and it always has been. And these systems that were meant to protect us are used to corral us and harm us and police us. The systems that were meant to bring us wealth and prosperity are designed to rob us and put us in debt slavery. Folks, Gen Z right now, for a Gen Z to buy a house, unless they are lucky enough to get a really high paying, pretty heavy 6-figure job, you can't even do it with a couple anymore, both working full time. You almost got to have a couple and then have 2 more roommates just to make, ends meet anymore. We've destroyed this world. We've allowed these thieves to ruin the futures of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. But just perhaps we're starting to see a collapse of all this. And maybe just maybe, if we can truly abolish the IRS, income tax, go back to nations being funded based on their true commodities and their trading deals and tariffs with other nations, then maybe, just maybe, we can get ourselves out of this. I do have hope, folks. I'm actually very surprised. I can't believe how much has already happened. And the ones I truly question are our neighbors, our family, our coworkers, our friends that are still falling for this mainstream narrative, this propaganda about how, oh, Doge is in there to try to steal our Social Security numbers and our accounts and all that. Folks, the government's been stealing from Social Security since its inception. And they've replaced the money with IOUs. It's all been a scam, folks. Why do you think they keep pushing back the retirement age? I mean, hell, by the time I go to retire, you got to be 90 years old to get retirement. But yet, there's millions that are collecting Social Security that are not citizens, that have multiple accounts set up. I mean, people that are like 200 years old. I mean, and yet they're telling your grandma that she can't get more money for Social Security. She's on a fixed income, right? You know, her and her husband, they paid in their whole life. And she's trying to survive off of, I don't even know what it is anymore. Is it like $1,500 a month or something? Or $2,000 a month? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not even a livable. Look, you can't even live on that. You can't even in a week's time right now. You can't even live on that hardly. I mean, one bag of groceries is like $50 right now, man. I mean, it's an oil change on your car is like $100. This is ridiculous, folks. I mean, we look, it's all got to collapse, okay? Now the question is, when the collapse happens and we rebuild from that, what are we going to do with these people? Are we going to allow them to set up the new system so they can just continue their swindle? Look, folks, there comes a time when you have to deal with these people, okay? And I'm talking about peaceful means. I'm just saying, but these people need to be going to prison, okay? No more just allowing this stuff to happen and then just, let's just let things be. We'll fix it, but we're going to let these people just go on their way. No. Folks, we need to investigate all these people involved, and they need to be stripped of all their wealth. All of these people that have been swindling the taxpayers around the world, and this goes for all nations. These people that have been stealing from us, enslaving us, it's time that these people be uncovered and that they be brought up on humanitarian, on charges, on, let's call them the World Economic Nuremberg trials, okay? And all of their wealth and their family's wealth should be stripped because everything they've gotten was through theft. And when you've done that, you don't deserve anything. You deserve to see your whole legacy stripped from you and given back to the taxpayers. Now, do we really want their Federal Reserve dollars? No. We want our gold and silver back. We want our resources back. We want our land back. Everything they've stolen. Okay? That's what we want. And then we want them in prison for life. Maybe even special, let's just say the next level that you could go beyond, that, if you get my meaning. Because when your evil, your diabolical actions have affected millions and billions of people, a court, I don't know if a court can fully, I don't know if just rotting in a high-end prison the rest of your life, getting, living in luxury as much as you can in a jail, right? Like they have like these special prisons for these super wealthy people, and it's like they got like tennis courts and shit in them, and I mean it's really ridiculous, folks. I mean, no, these people need to be staying in like dungeons. Yeah, there we go. Bring the dungeons back, right? Yeah, for the elite. Bring the dungeons back for the elite. Make dungeons great again. That's what I say. And look, we got to go beyond, folks. Who are the powers behind those powers? Well, their city-states are still in control of humanity. There's 3 city-states in the world that are sovereign, that are separate from the countries that they reside in, and they control the world system. One is the Vatican. The Vatican is a city-state within Italy. The Vatican is the center of the world religion, the orders of the Abrahamic faith that have controlled the minds of humanity for thousands of years, that have been holding humanity back from the truth. That's your religious city-state power, the Vatican, who also controls vast wealth and land and riches. And they have, a lot of the, let's just say, when the Library of Alexandria burned down and a lot of these other libraries were destroyed and looted, let's just say a lot of that could possibly be in the vaults of the Vatican. So our knowledge has been stolen too, folks. And see, they can't let us see that stuff because it proves that their religion's BS. And then you got the other city-state, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the world military power, the world police, you could call it, which the United States has acted as since World War II. Washington, D.C. has always been separate from the United States. It's a separate city-state, folks. And that's where the military might of the world is basically managed from. Of course, now that's, China, and Russia are starting to compete, with that, which makes you wonder, though, how much of that's true if they're just controlled opposition, to give the illusion to the population that nations are fighting for their own people and all that, when they're all just working together to screw us all and rob us all. And then you have the third and final city-state. Well, we could go, actually, we could name some others, but let's just stick with the main 3, okay? And then you have the city of London within London. But the city of London is a separate city-state that controls the world banking. It's the seat of the Rothschilds' power. And they're the ones who issue forth all of the central banking money around the world. So those 3 city-states, folks, they rule the world through their mechanisms of banking, government/military through Washington, D.C., and religion through the Vatican. And they're all false, folks. They all lie. And they all rob and steal from us. And they all control us. Now, isn't it interesting, folks? What did they used to call those first designs of settlements in Sumer? They were city-states, folks. City-states. Remember? The Anuna have never gone away. They've always been here. Isn't it interesting that to this day and age we have these city-states which all have obelisks in them, have all these ancient symbols and structures that harken all the way back to ancient Egypt and Sumer? And they just so happen to be designed like the city-states of old, and they operate individually sovereign from the nations they reside in. Interesting, right? Now, we'll talk another day about that shaft, that obelisk that's found in the middle of the town, of the city square, the center square, whatever you want to call it, of these 3 city-states and what it represents. We're going to go deep next time on that, folks. But anyways, folks, look, the silver lining is that it's all being uncovered. Keep pushing, folks. Keep trying to wake up your friends and neighbors and coworkers. Look, folks, some of the leftist coworkers that I know are even starting to realize the big scandal that's going on. If we can get the left to wake up from this stuff too, folks. A lot of the left are still falling for the propaganda, and they're thinking that, Doge is stealing money from their pockets or firing all their buddies. Well, if their buddies were swindlers, they need to get fired. If their buddies were collecting government paychecks and they weren't working a real job, they need to get fired. I don't care what college they went to or what their title is. But most people are starting to wake up, folks. And right now, there's a mass awakening. And these people in power are starting to get stripped of their power, and all of their lies are going to be uncovered, and humans are going to finally see the man behind the freaking curtain, and realize it's all been a lie, all of it. So that's good, folks. Things are looking up. Really, they are. I'm actually, it's ecstatic. I mean, I just keep trying to reel people in and make you guys all understand. Look, this all still goes back to Sumer. Same powers, same principalities are in power now that they've always been. But their puppets are starting to lose control now. Now, are they going to swoop in and show themselves? Are they going to have to physically get involved in all this? Or is this a change of power, like I was talking about in a video the other day, that one family has handed power over to the next, and this new power has decided to bring enlightenment and openness to humanity and to change the structures of the world, because it is happening at light speed, folks. I mean, I can't even believe it. Can you imagine? Next year, you may not even have to file a tax return. That we may be done with income tax, and we may be under a tariff system, and maybe just for goods and services like a flat tax or something. So it's interesting, folks. Very interesting. I mean, every day it's something new. I mean, wow. It's actually exciting. I mean, I can't believe I've seen more done in 1 month, stuff I've wished for since I was in high school to happen. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. If you want to do a one-on-one Zoom with me, hit me up. Your donation for my time. And yeah, guys. Hey, and also don't forget, if you were over with me on Facebook, I've started a new one, Facebook Exit the Matrix Reborn. Okay, because until I get back control of my page that was stolen by a hacker, until I get that back from Facebook, I'm starting to build a new page, and it's hard to get started, folks, because I literally went from 0 people starting the second page. I should have been building a backup page just in case this happened. Live and learn, right? Because X has not allowed me to grow at all. X has been, because I don't just sit around talking, arguing politics all day with people. And if you don't do that, you don't grow on X. So, and that's fine. Some people like that stuff. And look, I go to X to get a lot of information. But I actually prefer the kind of platforms of YouTube and Facebook better. I like the meme posting, and I like the way you can post on Facebook, and I like the video format of YouTube. So, and yes, I realize, folks, I get it. I know, not good. Let's just say not the best people with the best of intentions are managing these companies. I get that, but maybe they'll come along, okay? Because look, rising tides raise all ships, right? And look, no rich tech oligarch wants to give up the gravy train. If they see the way the winds are changing, they're going to go with it, because they know if they don't, that's it for them, right? So anyways, guys, hey, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later.